what was your moment of obligation to kind of pursue this work as an artist? And, I see artists and poets as kind of seers. They kind of see what's happening in the world, and they're able to communicate it to us, to the rest of the public, so we can wake up. Just that short poem you read, I'm like, oh my God, such a pithy way of capturing such profound truths. So yeah, like, when did you realize you had this power, this gift, likely from God?
It never felt like a gift, but the first time I was aware that I knew as soon as I could, and when I got big and I got strong and was big enough, that I would stand up for children and stand up for folks who had trouble standing. I was probably 6 years old. It was a year after my dad took me at age 5 to a KKK rally at age 5 as an opposing voice. My father was there with his bullhorn yelling back at the KKK folks, brought me and my 2 older brothers. We were just little kids. I didn't know what was going on. I remember the imagery. I remember like the iron crosses and the Confederate flags, like these things, swastikas and things. And I later asked him, like, why did you bring kids to that?
Yeah.
And he goes, I wanted you guys to understand that racism is alive and well, but you don't have to fear it. You can stand up to it. That's what he taught me. A year later, age 6, I remember my dad watched the History Channel all the time, and he would watch it with us. I saw the Holocaust footage for the first time at age 6, like graphic footage of people being targeted and hurt and killed, children, for simply being Jewish.
Yeah.
And my little brain couldn't. I said, why are they hurting those little kids? My dad tried to explain it as best he can, just because they're different, really.
Yeah.
This is what evil looks like when you kill a child, you kill innocent people simply because they're different from you. That's when I knew, because I started writing poetry really young too, like 3rd grade, 4th grade. That's when I started like trying to reflect on these things that I was seeing that my father was showing me and processing of like, why is this? What needs to change? Understanding like very complex socio-psychological aspects, like contemplating these things at really young age, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. So when I told you I was an introvert, like this was me as a kid in my room, writing poetry, trying to make sense of it with my dad. Other kids didn't really understand, but I don't know. That's really when it started, when I saw children being harmed by adults, and I had to make sense of it. And it's been a journey ever since then.
No, it's beautiful. And what you're describing is really this felt sense, somatic experience of injustice, of unfairness, of brutality, right? Even though it was happening to other people when you were watching those, when you were at the KK rally, it was happening in your body, but to even notice it and not suppress it, but to feel it and then respond to it. And like, that's so, I think for
helpless.
Me, yeah.
Being a kid, I said, when I get big enough, this is what I'm going to dedicate my life to. And I have.
And you certainly have. And it's just so inspiring to kind of hear like the origin story, or part of the origin story, of how humans like you come about, right? And to serve, not just other humans, but our planet and our future generations. One thing that's kind of come up for me is, as we think about, and I've been questioning this for a long time, particularly after going to law school and studying this idea of justice, right? And kind of social change, social justice circles, this word is thrown around a lot, and as someone, you've thought about this, you've reflected on it, it's a big part of who you are. What does justice mean to you?
I don't know. I don't really have a strong opinion. I think it depends on who you ask. You know,
Yeah.
those who are on the opposite side of justice and have injustice done to them. I think
Yeah.
they're the ones to ask. Hey, what does justice mean for you? Well, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that it should just be anarchy and everyone inflict their own sense of justice. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to answer that.
So what does the word justice feel like? How's that?